there's been some controversy this holiday season surrounding some classics and favorites. A couple weeks ago, a Cleveland radio station pulled Baby It's Cold Outside from its airwaves over controversial lyrics. At least 2 other stations took polls from viewers on their thoughts on the song. More recently, reindeer have been under fire for bullying Rudolph, and questions have come up if the animated movie promotes bullying. We brought in 2 panelists to talk about the controversy, Dr. G, who was with us earlier, and we brought in mom blogger and founder of Motormouth Media, Heather Hopson. So ladies, I want to know your take and your thoughts on the controversy.
I'm sorry, reindeer under fire. Just like
it seems a little absurd, but I don't know. I feel like a lot of people are angry that there is even a controversy to begin with, but is that the right feeling to have towards all of this, or is it a good discussion to have?
Right. Regarding Rudolph, does he get bullied? Yes. Is it the end of the world? Does he come out on top? Like, we have to focus on that. Like, Rudolph is winning in the end. And I use that as a teachable moment for my daughter to talk about acceptance, inclusion, teamwork. And I asked her, like, look, if you watch this, are you going to go to school and be mean? She's like, no, and she kind of chuckled, where she understands the difference between entertainment and reality.
Well, and actually, I thought that's what that movie had always been about. This creature gets bullied for something and made to feel ashamed, and in the end, he's like, ha, this was the only thing that would help everybody. And everybody goes like, oh, gosh, we were ridiculous. We shouldn't have looked at it that way. Like, that's what the message of the story has always been.
They've learned from that, too. The bulliers also learned from that experience
so there's,
as well.
In there's the 3 parts we talk about. We talk about the person who's bullying, the person who's who's victimized, or the creature, and the bystanders. And that everybody has a role to play. And when I heard about the controversy and I read more about it, I was like, did nobody realize that's what the movie has always been about? Right. It has always been that story of being picked on for something that was different and redemption, and I hope that's what we're always talking about.
But we're in an age of super sensitivity, which isn't a bad thing. I'm really sensitive, but I think it's an opportunity to say, why are we depending upon the media to raise our kids? Right. Like, I'm gonna have a conversation, and despite what's on television, you know, I'm going to instill certain values and morals in my daughter. Right. And you want to prevent your child from pain, but they're not fragile. And I want to prepare her for the real world.
Right, don't especially want to protect them from all pain. But I actually think this one has always been that teachable moment where that's the point of watching this movie with kids.
Well, it's funny because I was watching Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs with my daughter over the weekend. And in the very beginning, the genius who creates this weather machine is made fun of and picked on. I wouldn't maybe go as far as calling bullying, but still, my daughter said, oh, they're not being very nice to him.
Cool. Right. Kudos to her for noticing.
People have talked about. They've talked about Jesus, but guess what? In the end, the person that gets talked about is oftentimes the person that wins, the person that has this bigger change.
Okay, so let's talk about Baby It's Cold Outside, because I think that this kind of hits a completely different mark here with the whole Me Too movement. And some people have really strong feelings about this. In 2013, there was a huge movement on social media, on Twitter, and saying that the song was date rapey, is the term that I kept hearing over and over again. And when you go back and look at the original video from 1949 from Neptune's Daughter, you can see kind of the pulling away, kind of the grabbing, and some of the things that happen that do seem maybe more aggressive.
Right, absolutely. And I think that it is great that we are looking at classics and traditions with a more open eye. I think we should be looking to see signs of sexism, of racism, of all kinds of bigotry, and point it out when we see it. It doesn't necessarily, now listen, if a radio station has to pull it for their own corporate reasons, they do. It doesn't mean I say nobody should ever listen to it in the same way. But being more aware and having a more nuanced view and a more egalitarian view, that's a good idea. That's a good thing.
And you mentioned open eye. Should we then have an open eye to everything? Because if we're going to ban Baby It's Cold Outside, I mean, turn on the radio right now. We'll pretty much put radio stations out of business.
Right.
Robin Thicke has blurred lines. Like, there are a lot of things that are much worse, and not to say, you know, this is bad, this is worse. Right. But
no, there are things that are worse. That are worse. Absolutely. That are popular now or that are current now. Because now at least you can say, oh, context, that was a while ago. They weren't looking at things that way, or maybe they were trying to make a different point. But now in 2018, you're supposed to be woke. Where are these people? But but that's different than saying ban it. I don't believe in banning books, but I believe in looking at books and saying that book presents a worldview that I disagree with, and it's good to have that book there so I can figure out why I disagree with it and articulate it better.
Right, and how do we start to have conversations with our kids? And, you know, I'll talk to my daughter about what to avoid, what to pay attention to, what not to put yourself into certain situations. And although some things she's not going to be able to prevent, I want to arm her with information, just like my sister and my brother-in-law will talk to my nephews about what's okay and what's not okay, what's consent and what's not.
Okay, so there was a meme that popped up. It's been floating around social media, changing the lyrics to Baby It's Cold Outside. And I'm wondering if this almost kind of borders on being offensive because it may come across as being insensitive or overly sensitive. I wanted to just show just a quick clip of this.
I really can't stay.
Okay, you're free to go.
I've got to go away.
Understood, no means no.
This evening has been
Super appropriate.
so very nice.
But I do understand
My mother
consent.
will start to worry.
Definitely text her right
And I will
now.
be pacing the floor.
Here's the code and there is the
so
door.
really I'd better scurry.
I am gonna stand over
well, maybe
here.
just a half a drink
You
more.
are in control of this
The neighbors might
thing.
think.
Invite them over
So
if
what do you guys think
like.
about this? So they
It's
changed
like
the
any
lyrics.
farce, you're
nothing
pointing
looks
out a
right.
problem with the original by making a farce. Like, I think this is well done because it's hitting people on the head, being like, hey, we know these things now, right? Don't we know these things? Let's keep talking about these things.
And I think we also have to talk about the context, right? This song came out 70 years ago when my grandparents were probably dating. My grandmother couldn't spend the night at my grandfather's house. That was unheard of.
Right.
I'm a single mom. I would have had to get married back then. So, I mean, I think we have to look at the bigger picture and not only have these conversations because something happens, but how can we be preventative? How can we have these conversations to prevent situations like that?
And I love pointing out to my sons that this has changed, this issue of consent, and that it will continue to change. So you got to pay attention and be involved
aware.
in that process.
Very good. Thank you, ladies, so much. I think this has been a great discussion, and we want to thank our panelists, Dr. Debbie Gilboa and Heather Hopson. Thanks again for joining in on this Tuesday Talk.